Hello and welcome back. Here we are in section 4. Now, in this section, we're going to have lessons about and thinking on planning for your future personally. And this is lesson 1, measure the gain, not the gap. Now, as we think about this, I want to check in with you to see how you were doing yesterday or whenever it was you last looked at the last lesson, because we talked about the golden bunnies and being aware of really positive things on that day, perhaps even making a list, being aware of it, having that conscious and subconscious thinking about it. Did you do that? If not, let's look at doing that soon, today perhaps. And in this section, we're looking at where are we today, and what are we looking forward to? What future self do we want to be versus what we used to be? And how do we measure how well we're doing? Because sometimes, especially as a widow, it feels like we're never going to feel better again. Sometimes it feels like I am going through this washing machine of emotions, and I don't know if I will ever have a normal day again. But probably about month 2 to 6 after your husband has passed away, we can start doing something that we call measuring the gain instead of the gap. And what that means is that there is a gap of where you want to be, what you should be, the future self that you want to be, the goals that you have set for yourself, just to have a normal day, to have new experiences, to, if you're an entrepreneur, be a better entrepreneur or a better mother or a better, whatever it is that you're up to. If you've set it out as a bigger goal, there's this gap that you're not going to be able to experience, but there is a gain. And we'll go over some of the gains that you might be able to celebrate right now, because in that celebration and the knowing of being able to have done something, that you have accomplished some things, then you feel better about yourself and moving into the future. If we're always looking at what we're going to be, it feels like we're lacking, we're not doing enough, we aren't worthy, or whatever that negative thinking is. So measuring the gain instead of the gap. So if you are at least 2 to 6 months after your husband has passed away, this is probably about the time that we should start. And it seems like those first few months, things are a bit different, because people are coming over, people are calling you, they're bringing food, they are doing extra things for you. And then for some people, especially for me, it kind of tapered off. People are expecting things to get back to normal for you, and that you don't need as much attention. And sometimes, for some people, that can feel like a huge loss. You're having a lot more time that you are doing things yourself, whether you're going to work or not. It's going to feel different, probably. Not for everybody, though. Just know that it could happen to some of you. And then after 6 months, what we could do as an exercise is measuring that gain of the things that you have actually started doing. And some examples could be, hey, you're starting to pay the bills for the very first time. You've made a really good budget, that you're being able to really pay attention to the things that you are spending money on and saving for the future, and some of the things that perhaps the husband did and now you're doing it. It might be that you've gotten involved in your community, that you're doing some charities. All those things, those little things, taking care of the plumbing, taking care of the yard work, it's just things around the house that perhaps your husband used to do and now you did. Those are huge wins. Those are gains that you now do. And if you haven't done any of those things, or if you took care of all those things and your husband relied on you to do that, there must be something else that maybe I haven't mentioned that you are now having to do. Just for instance, because your husband has died, you're no longer a couple. So the new things that you're doing with your friends, your family, other couples, those are new experiences that you've had to go through and embrace. And that is also a gain. You are a different person now than you were 6 months ago. And if you think about it, you're a different person now than you were 5 years ago. Or think about how you were 10 years ago. You are a different person, and all those wonderful experiences and activities that you've done and the brave things that you've gone through, have made you a different person. So yes, you will have a really wonderful future because you know how to do all those things. As a widow, sometimes we are forced to do things that other people haven't done yet because we had to. There was no choice in the matter. So we have really grown. So let's measure that gain. Now, again, if you haven't done this yet, you will have some wonderful, small, little sweet steps that you're doing. And let's make sure that we look at those more than I want to have that normal day, whatever it is that is the gap. And one of the best ways that I know, and this is a scientific fact, to be able to measure the gain and know what you're doing that is measurable basis is to journal. Actually write in a book. If you have to, you can type on a computer, but it's better if you write in a book. I am going to give you some examples of some things that you can do on a daily basis. Please try to do it in the morning because it sets your day. So in the morning, if you will get out your journal, and if you will write down immediately 3 things that you're very grateful for. So I'm grateful for a nice apartment or house. I'm grateful for this person in my life. I'm grateful for clean water. Whatever it is in the moment that you're grateful for, if you write down 3 things, you are going to find that your day is filled with new and better, almost multiplying your golden bunnies, which we'll talk about in the next lesson. Also write down what are 3 things that will make today a win. And that could be, I get the laundry done. It could be that I'm going to go out with somebody new. Whatever it is that's going to make today a win, then those 3 things, write them down. And then at the end of the day, in the evening, write down what was successful. And it might not have been the 3 things that you wrote down at the beginning of the day, but 3 things in the evening that you can measure that was wonderful. And it could have been just an interaction with a friend, a family. It could be that you did something new. Anything that comes to mind, write it down, because those are all those gains that you can measure. And I'm going to spend the next 3 minutes or so talking about something that helped me that may or may not be something for you, but it really helped me a lot. And it's actually a Hawaiian ritual and a healing process, I would think you would call it. And it's called the Ho'oponopono. And the Ho'oponopono means to make things right. And it brings balance to the self and all the relationships, even in one's ancestors. They don't have to be alive. So this is where it helped me specifically when my father passed away, but also when my husband passed away. And essentially, this is a ritual that takes a moment to do. So you're going to want to be able it's almost like meditation in a way. You want to have a comfortable chair, a room that's silent, all the electronics are on silent, and you're going to do essentially 4 things. And the person who taught me, who I respected very much, and it really did help and make a huge difference in my life, is the way that they started is you get comfortable in a chair, have your feet on the floor, sitting up straight and comfortable. And the way that we did it is they had me think of my feet being grounded into the earth, kind of like roots are coming from my feet. And I'm very grounded, nourished. And I'm sitting up tall in the essence of me going into the heavens and the universe. And we will be chanting 4 different things. And we start with, I love you. And so it looks like this. You might want to close your eyes. You might want to sit comfortably and just say, I love you. 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 And you say that for a minute or even 2, which may seem like a very long time. But what will happen is people will show up in your experience of saying, I love you. Different experiences will happen as you say, I love you. And then after that, you will say, I'm sorry. 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 And again, this cleansing, it washes over you. And it might be that you're just saying, I'm sorry to yourself. It could be that you just repeat it many, many times and you feel cleansed. It could be that you will see different people show up to be acknowledge that you're sorry. And it's just all in the experience of it. And then the next one is, please forgive me, please forgive me, please forgive me, please forgive me. And you say that for another minute. And then at the end, you say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And you keep going for another minute. And the gratitude and the bigness and the love fills your heart. Your molecules change. I really encourage you to try it. And in fact, I might even make a video of just the Ho'oponopono for us to do together, because it does make a difference. When I was doing it with the person who taught me, we did it together, and our voices mingled, and it was just a beautiful experience. And so after this, we are actually going to go into the lesson of making more and more golden bunnies, those beautiful moments, peak moments in the swampy, smelly mess of grief show up. So I will see you next time.